Welcome to another brew day. Today I'm brewing up a pale ale. It's called Dennis King's Galaxy Delight. Now, I bought this as a recipe kit from the Malt Miller. It's quite a widely available recipe. Dennis King is quite a well-known home brewer in the UK, and this particular recipe came second in a competition in 2014. But actually, does anybody remember first place? I don't know, but this is quite a well-known recipe that people rave about. This is the original one, the Dennis King's Galaxy Delight. There are a couple of variations of that recipe on the Malt Miller website. I think there's a Centennial Delight and a Strata Delight, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, a couple of variations on that theme. But I think the malt bill is the same, it's just literally the hops, and I think the yeast might change on one of those recipes. So, as I say, this is the Galaxy Delight. It only uses Galaxy hops. I ordered this as a kit, as I say. The recipe is kind of widely available on the internet if you want to replicate it and not buy it from the Malt Miller and buy the stuff separately yourself. I like the fact that you can buy it as a kit on Malt Miller because this has got aromatic malt in it, and if you're buying it yourself, you'd have to obviously buy a quantity of it. Not sure how much of it you'd use after this, so it makes sense to buy it all pre-weighed. It comes in a one bag pre-weighed, and with the hops and the yeast. So I think it worked out about £29 for the kit. It was about 30 odd quid delivered. This is a 23 litre batch. So yeah, it uses pure Galaxy. The malt bill is 4.6 kilograms of crisp pale ale malt, 300 grams of crisp Vienna malt, and 100 grams of Dingemans Aromatic Malt, which is a Belgian speciality malt. Apparently it gives like a really intense malty flavour to the brew, which I'm guessing is why it has quite a small amount, 100 grams, but it kind of really exaggerates that malt flavour. So a malt I've not used before previously. I have no idea what it tastes like, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting brew. I think it also adds a bit of kind of red colour to the finished beer as well, so I think it's going to be a reasonably dark sort of pale ale. So yeah, now it came with 100 grams of Galaxy hops. This is a 2023 harvest, so most recent presumably. Now, on here, the IBU states 61 for the total. They're pretty high already. It's a high IBU beer. But I punched this into Brewfather, and I'm glad I did. And I put the alpha acid content of this Galaxy Harvest, which is unclenchingly high, I would say, at 17.8% alpha acid. So, putting that in, I had to adjust my recipe slightly. So it uses 15 grams at 90 minutes, and then 45 grams at 15 minutes, and the rest goes in as a dry hop. So when I put that into Brewfather, I was getting like 70 IBUs or something like that. So I've scaled down that first edition from 15 grams to 5 grams. And I'm actually only doing a 60-minute boil, so I'm reducing that amount of the initial IBUs bitterness. 5 grams at 60 minutes gives me 10 IBUs, and the 45 grams at 15 minutes gives me 43 IBUs. So I'm still leaving that quite a, the majority of it going in late, because I didn't want to really reduce that so much and kind of spoil the recipe. So I'm just reducing that first hop addition just slightly to accommodate the much higher alpha acid in this particular harvest. Yeah, so I'm not really doing anything different. I'm following the recipe. Mash temperature is 66 for, it says 90 minutes. Again, I'm just following my own sort of process. I'm doing 66 for an hour. Yeah, and I'm boiling for 60 minutes rather than 90. So other than that, I'm following it down to the T. So should be a fairly straightforward brew. it comes with this yeast, Lallemand American West Coast Ale yeast, BRY 97. So it should give us a nice, clean, crisp ale at the end of it. And because I am reducing the amount at the start by 10 grams, I'm actually gonna just chuck that in as an additional 10 grams in a dry hop. So I'll be dry hopping it with 50 grams of Galaxy. Yeah, so it's got excellent reviews, this kit. I'm really looking forward to trying it out. Should finish out about 5%, and I'm hoping, I think mine will probably finish slightly lower on the IBUs, maybe sort of between 50 and 60, rather than target 61. But I think because my brew in a bag system is less efficient, I think that BU-GU sort of ratio is probably going to fit that lower IBU from this a bit better. So yeah, that's it. I've already done the mash. In fact, I'm just bringing the water up to boil. So yeah, I'm getting ready for my first edition, and I'll see you at the end for the tasting. Cheers. Okay, here it is, DK's Galaxy Delight. So this has actually been in the keg now for about a month, about 4 weeks. So it's pretty well conditioned. To be fair, it hasn't really changed a lot from the first sort of week or so when I started sampling it. So it's been pretty consistently good since I kegged it. So here it is. Well, as you can see, it's quite a nice, deep, golden, I don't know, gold colour, I guess. I wouldn't say it was straw. I'd say it's more a golden pale ale. I think I said at the start that this was a pale ale, but I think this would probably be more correctly categorised as a IPA due to the bitterness and the dry hopping. So yeah, this has got the aromatic malt in it, so there's a first for me using that. It's a small amount, but I think definitely it's added something to the colour, and it's definitely added something to the aroma and taste as well. So we'll get onto that. But looks wise, as I say, it's quite a nice deep golden colour. It did have a nice sort of head on it, but don't know whether this glass is perfect for this. I don't know how clean it is, but anyway, that's what it looks like. Not too bad, not too shabby on looks. Aroma wise, I mean, you're hit with passion fruit. So yeah, I guess that is kind of one of the main characteristics of Galaxy. So that's exactly what we would expect. There's a nice kind of maltiness coming through in the background as well. From obviously the grains, but more predominantly I think from that aromatic malt. It's definitely added something to the party on that front. But on the aroma, very much passion fruit, sort of a little bit of kind of citrusy, apricot-y type aromas, exactly what you'd expect from Galaxy, but main player there is passion fruit. It's pretty good, smells good. Wasn't an enormous dry hop. I think it just worked out about 50 grams in the end. So it's actually pretty, pungent, aromatic for a relatively small dry hop, 50 grams, or, So yeah, it's good on the aroma. What does it taste like? Very nice indeed. One thing I didn't mention at the start was what this finished up at. So I think we were expecting 5.7. This actually finished up at 6.2. So my brew in a bag method was more efficient than normal. I don't know whether that was to do with mash temperatures or what, but it ended up 6.2. So this is not what I would consider a sessionable beer. This is a kind of 1 or 2 beer for me, but given that it has quite a high alcoholic content, and that bitterness is, I think, by Brewfather calculated about 60, it does taste like a very well balanced beer. So I was reading in James Morton's book recently about some of the recipes that he's published in his book. A lot of them quite strong in alcohol, but he suggests that the alcohol is a great carrier of flavours, and I think that that is certainly the case in this one. It's the flavours really come through on the palate, considering there was not a huge amount of hops. I think it was 100 grams in total. There's a real sort of nice flavour and aroma of those Galaxy hops. Again, that aromatic malt is definitely there in the background. Be careful about adding too much of that, I think. I really like it. It's a really nice recipe. I'm glad I bought it as a kit, because it's probably not one I would have really thought up myself. So it was nice to experiment with that aromatic malt and Galaxy. I've heard a few people sort of dissing Galaxy a little bit. I don't know whether some harvests are better than others and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people kind of, say that it's not particularly good, the stuff that gets to home brewers and that stuff. And to be honest, it's probably put me off brewing with it a little bit. So I'm glad I tried it. It's a really nice hop, and I think I'm definitely going to be experimenting with it a bit further. What is it, 17.8% alpha acid, something like that, I can't remember. But very, very, very high in alpha acid, so you need to be careful about how you use it. But yeah, overall, I'd say that this is a very nice beer if you're looking for something a little bit different to what you would, I don't know, normally drink. But me personally, I would sort of favour pale ales and stuff like that. So this is a bit stronger than I would normally brew, a bit more bitter, but it's a really nice drinking beer, very balanced, and I'm enjoying it in small measures. But it's a definite success, I would say. Would I brew it again? Probably, yeah. Maybe not a summer drink. I might brew it towards the end of the year in autumn, or maybe something like that. But for me, it's not a sitting out in the summer with a few cold ones type of beer. It's a 1 or 2 in the evening type beer. But I'm enjoying it. It's nice. So yeah, if you're looking for something a little bit different, DK's Galaxy Delight is a thumbs up from me. And cheers, everyone.